Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you're watching this video today, then I can only assume that you've got yourself a camp director interview, so congratulations. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about 3 things, just like in the last video, all about how to prepare for your interview, what to expect during the interview, and then sort of what's going to be happening after that. So let's start off with the first step, which is the preparation. When I first got the email from my camp director, her asking me that she wanted to have an interview with me, the first thing I did was look on the camp's website. And I did all the research that I could possibly do all about the camp, and I actually found out that they had a YouTube channel, so I literally went through and I think I watched every single YouTube video that was on the channel just so I could get a feel of the camp and whether I actually wanted to work there or not. And I think this is a really important stage, because then while you're looking on the website you can write down questions and notes that you want to ask your camp director during your interview. Even if they sound like stupid questions to you, they could actually end up being really important, and you'll get lots of answers during the interview, and that's always a really good stage and thing to do during the preparation. So after you've done all the research you possibly can about your camp, and that's a really important key stage, is to do proper thorough research all before your interview. Now the day of your interview you want to make sure you set up the laptop or your computer in a quiet room, away from your family, away from anyone who might distract you, or away from anything that might distract you. So get rid of your phone, get rid of just anything that could possibly distract you, and put yourself in a quiet space where you can concentrate with just you and your camp director and no distractions. And then you want to make sure that your Skype and your sound is working. So maybe get your sister or your brother or mum or dad to phone you from their Skype onto your Skype, and make sure that the camera's okay and the sound's working okay, and just because you don't want to have to sort that out when your camp director calls you, because that will just be really bad first impressions. So just make sure it's all working and then you're good to go. So now we're going to move on to the actual interview stage thing of this video. So when you greet your camp director, it's just treat it as any other interview. You want to make sure that you're wearing smart clothes that they can see. So if it's just like a normal laptop screen, and they're looking from sort of like how you're seeing me now, from the waist up, then make sure you're wearing like a smart top or a dress, or if you're a guy, wear a shirt or a tie or something like that. They really love it when you are making good first impressions, and you want to greet yourself with smiles and just be generally very happy when you answer the phone call. At first, your camp director will start talking about what your job will consist of, and what you're going to be basically doing as a counsellor, and he or she is just going to run over sort of the general stuff about camp and anything and everything about camp. And then your camp director will start asking you questions about maybe a past job you've had, or past jobs you've had with children, and then they're going to ask you a lot of life questions. So a question that I actually got asked in my interview was, when in a point in your life, maybe in a job or just in regular life, have you felt you've had to take control of a situation? Now, I was lucky enough, I was able to take a experience I had from my previous job in retail and use that as one of my answers. But you should definitely as well beforehand do research on maybe the type of questions they might ask you, and try and come up with some answers in your head about how you might answer those questions. And then it's time for you to ask your questions. So make sure you have your notepad ready and next to you, and then you can start asking your questions. If he or she's covered some of the answers to your questions, then you can just cross them out and then ask the ones that they haven't answered. Whether you think they're silly or not, they're still going to be completely relevant, and that's what you're there for. That they are there to answer your questions or queries or any worries that you might have about taking the job, and that's a really relieving part of the interview, because any worries that you might have had are then answered, and it's all fine and all chill from there. Some interviews like mine can actually take up to 1.5 hours. Mine was literally around that mark. So at the very end of the interview, in my interview I was offered the job position there. I don't know what it's like for some other people, but she asked me if I needed time to think about my answer, because I might have I might have been offered another job in another camp, but for me that was the only camp that approached me, and I said yes immediately because obviously I really wanted to take that job, and I was really pleased with how the interview went. I tried not to stay looking nervous or panicky. I tried to answer every question as thoroughly as I could. I tried to stay smiley. There was some moments where I remember I panicked a lot and I kept saying but that is totally fine. They know you're nervous. Like, it's a very awkward situation, a Skype interview, I find. But you know, what can you do when they're halfway across the world? You have to talk to them somehow. So yeah, they might offer you the job there and there like they did with me, or they might decline you. I don't know, I've never had an experience like that where they've actually declined you from it, but pretty much they're always gonna say yes. I think they're the loveliest people, camp directors. They're always so peppy and they're always so enthusiastic about the job that they do. So yeah, just enjoy the interview, like really get a chance to know, because this could possibly be your future boss and a future friend, because it's a normal job interview. Like, if you do bad, you'll hold it as a grudge for ages. So just absolutely try your best, and then you won't have anything to worry about. Okay, so after the interview now, so if you're successful, then they will start running through some things that you have to do. So in my interview, she said, right, now it's time for you to add yourself onto our staff Facebook page, and then you can start talking and interacting with some of the other counsellors who will be working at your camp, and you might even be able to start organising some flights with some other people who are going to your camp. I did not personally. I tried to meet up with, try to talk to some people who might be able to fly out with me, but unfortunately I was flying out very early as opposed to some other people because of my training. I had to do specific training as an archery and ropes coach, so I flew up by myself, but that was totally fine. So they will ask you to add yourself to the Facebook page, and then sometimes they might ask you to set up a Camp Minder account on their website, and that's another series of checklists with more paperwork. So that's where you have to add on your DBS check, your physician, well, that's what they call it in America, but doctor's examination, again, contract, so your actual job contract will be on there, and just lots of other paperwork stuff. So more paperwork, yay! Which is probably the worst part of it all, but as soon as you get that out of the way, it's totally fine. So that is basically all you have to do after the interview. So yeah. So if your camp director interview is coming up, I really hope you do well. I wish you all the luck in the world, and just stay calm. That's literally the only advice I can give you, is just to stay calm. It's really an uplifting experience, because it's like, oh my gosh, this is the one step more that I have to be able to be working in America. So just enjoy it, like just stay calm. They're like lovely. My camp director was so nice, and she was the loveliest woman ever. So just take your time and be calm, and good luck with it all. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it informative. I really wish you all the luck in the world with your camp director interview. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!